Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Tuesday night December 17, 24. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Tuesday night December 17, 24. Transcribed by Wiser now emailed to recaps. Hello everybody to the big call tonight. It's Tuesday December 17th and you're listening to the big call. Glad you guys could join us again. Welcome everybody around the world. As we are only 8 days from Christmas, and I guess we've kind of got to get going if we're going to get this before Christmas, right? Well, I hope I can speak to that in my Intel segment. So stick around. Let's see what we can do. Alright, let's go into where we are for the RV, and I'll try to remember every detail I intended to bring. Let's cover this aspect first. Jeannie mentions, in her prayer and praise time, she mentions, debt forgiveness. Debt jubilee, we talk about R&R, restitution reconciliation allowance. Restitution reconciliation allowance, we talk about the increase in Social Security. Well, finally, a couple days ago, we spoke with our Social Security contact person that said, no Social Security increases will take place in January. And R&R will take place in January. I'm going to cover what R&R is in terms of the three age groups. The three age groups are age 30 to 45, let's just call it group 1, 30 to 45, and they're going to receive their R&R in 36 months, 36 monthly payments. So 3 years of payments for that group that is aged 30 to 45. Now from 45 to 60, that's our group 2. They will receive 2 years of payments, monthly, which would be 24 monthly payments, and that's how they're paid out. Now I don't have the information on how they're going to be contacted to let them know their bank account information and so on. All that's to follow. The third group is age 60 to 100 and change however old you are. Age 60 to over 100, that's the third group, and that group is to be paid a lump sum payment, one-time lump sum payment. One time out over 11 years, one-time payment, and it was supposed to be paid to the same bank account that you get your Social Security direct deposit into, so that may be the same for everybody. I think that's what they're going to do. They know that information. And then there was the thought of, well, wait a minute, we are going to have it in our quantum account ready for us at the time of our exchanges. When we go into that, wait a minute, not if R&R doesn't start till January. We're planning on right away, and I will cover that in a few minutes. Alright, that's a little bit, I'm not sure how that's going to work for those of us that have currency that are over 60 years and older. And will be receiving a one-time payment, lump sum payment, and it could be substantial, because all of this includes taxes that you paid, income taxes. Federal income, state income. It includes interest that you paid on credit card, mortgage interest, bank loans. That includes the trading of your birth certificate as a tradable bond-type instrument. Birth certificate, death certificate, includes a marriage license for tradable and divorce decrees for tradable. Summary, all right. So all those are instruments that are created, those we get those funds too. So all of that is substantial. It's hard to predict how much it could be, but it could be substantial. Alright, now let's go back to cover that. Let's go the other direction. Let's talk about Iraq. Iraq has come out with a new rate on the dinar. And it was just a hair under $8, and it was in country rate in country, being in Iraq, and it's a rate on morning, that's yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah, Monday morning, at 9 a.m. Iraq time. They paid out all the contractors that were military contractors and contractors that are construction contractors. They paid them all out back pay. They went all the way back to August. August, September, October, November and December were all paid out yesterday morning, Monday morning, at 9 a.m. Iraq time at the new rate. So that's significant. That's significant. That does not include hydrocarbon law proceeds, the HCL or oil and gas law proceeds. It doesn't include pension payments, retirement. All of these things are additional. They show up in other accounts for the Iraqi citizens. The other thing about the new rate is Iraq had our total trumped around. In Iraq, to 158 countries came to celebrate. Representatives of 158 countries came to celebrate, along with Iraq, their new rate last week, Sunday. And they may still be doing it, could be continuing, but they're all very happy that the dinar rate is virtually double what it was just a few days prior. So that's great. We're happy for Iraq and all of the 158 COVID that sent representatives donations to help celebrate this great move into sovereignty, certainty and into a new day for Iraq. So we've got our rock, got our R&R and our social thing handled. Here's my opinion. We're getting very close to the end of the year, 15 days until January 1st, if that's what I heard right from what Jeannie said today. I think most of the aspects of Nasara, and even Gesera probably will start somewhere in that vicinity next year, 2025. I don't know that for a fact, and in fact, I'll say this, what's going on with the USN dollar even today? We heard that banking systems, computer systems in the United States are beginning to process the change from the USD, our fiat-based dollar, to our assets-backed dollar, the USN, USD to USN. Beginning of that transformation is taking place, starting today, with bank systems, with computer systems. That's happening. Now, here's another thing that I'm glad I was able to bring out today. I don't know very much about cryptocurrencies. My feeling and the people that we talk to, our sources believe, why do you need crypto when you have ZIM? Right. Nothing's going to touch the value of what the ZIM is worth now to us and what we bought it for. However, many of you there in the big call universe may have XRP cryptocurrency. XRP, in some way, is a mechanism that will allow the USN to come live to be. To be live has to do with the asset backing of our USN currency, our new dollar, and the value of the XRP. Now if you have XRP and you have a hard wallet, which is a virtual wallet, and you want to sell it, or some of it, you can do it at the redemption centers. When we go in for our exchanges, redemption centers will be buying XRP and giving the daily rates for it. That was all brand new to me in the last 2 days. So there is something to that. And if you want to hold it, if you have it, you just want to keep it, for the investment aspect of it, you can do that. They are offering to buy it at what we would call a favorable daily rate. So keep that in mind and bring the information for your virtual, hard wallet and your XRP if you have it and want to sell it. Let's see what else you know. The timing of this thing is really interesting, because we had been under the impression that we would, and this came in since our last Thursday over the weekend, a little bit more information today. And yesterday and today that we believe we were in the range to be notified and go on a modified calling in a modified shock. And start with Tier 3, the bondholders, and Tier 4A and B. Remember, Wells Fargo does not distinguish between Tier 4A and Tier 4B. Tier 4A, we tend to call the Admirals groups and other groups like that. The Tier 4B group we refer to as the Internet group. And that's the group that I'm speaking to on the big call, and that's who those people, that is, by far and away, the largest group. It's not a private group, though. Remember, it's not my group, not Bruce's groups, not the big call group, it is Tier 4B, the Internet group, okay. And they want us, obviously, to go to the redemption centers to get the highest rates. And some of the rates are distinctively higher for the redemption centers. Now let's go back to where I was a minute ago about the idea of us being notified as early as today. Well, we did not get that, and it's getting later and later tonight. So I have heard confirmation that emails have gone out to the bank's managers and to center leaders or principals, or they call them operatives. Those went out at 8 a.m. in the morning, this morning. This morning is Tuesday, the 17th of December. Those went out at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard kind of work, so that part is complete. We are under the impression that those have been received. And in those emails, we don't know exactly what they say. We don't have that. We believe that they have something giving the recipients an idea of when they are to receive calls, when are they going to receive appointments from calls, so that exchanges can begin. And of course, we're focusing primarily on the redemption centers, and the redemption centers having appointments set up for us. Now, today, we also heard that our notifications to us, which are coming from Wells Fargo, with a toll-free number. We assume it's a 1-800 number, but that number will come in an email to us. And we're used to the call centers, and then get transferred to the redemption center that is closest to our zip code. And well, how do they know what our zip code is? Because we enter that as part of our information, and we give that when we call in the 800 number, assuming we're to use a dial pad to put in some basic information about our currencies. Not the amounts, but just which currencies we plan to exchange. There'll probably be a numerical code to correspond with each currency or the main currencies. I'm not positive about how that's going to work, but that's what we've heard. So we'll see how that works. Anyway, when you set your appointment, you'll be transferred to either with a direct transfer, or give it another number to call to get to that redemption center that is closest to the zip code that you entered. Okay, now here's the other thing. The emails that went out this morning at 8 a.m. should have included the information as to when we are to begin notifying our call centers and letting them set the appointments for us with our help. Okay, what I've heard is that we will get the emails that we're looking for, which would contain 800 number overnight, tonight or tomorrow, and quite possibly wake up to those emails in the morning. And then, once we read those emails, have a cup of coffee. We have coffee first and read the emails and then call to set our appointment tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the 18th. Now that's 1 week before Christmas. It's cutting it close. But if that happens, and we hope it will, we believe it will, based on the information we are getting from the Wells Fargo bond paymasters, should that happen, then we are off to the races and we're good to go. We set our appointments. Theory is if we get our numbers overnight or in the first thing in the morning, we would set our appointment and be able to go with exchange starting tomorrow. That is the hope, the positive expectation of what should happen. So that is cutting it closed. Because it's only a week before Christmas, but I think we'd all take it. And I think we'd all say, well, they made it. They wanted us to have this before Christmas, and here it is. That's what I want to experience. That's what I want to say when I receive those emails. So let's hope that is the case. I think the USTN or United States notes, the currency itself, is in the banks already, and it's also at the redemption centers, and they don't want us to take a bunch of that cash out. We can test and the numbers keep changing on how I'm not even going to go there. You'll find out how much, if you want some new currency, how much you can have taken from your balance. I don't know. I don't know that it matters. I think we can whatever the money that we have now, the USD fiat currency that we have now in our wallets and purses and so on. That will phase out over about a 3-month period. And I don't know if that starts January 1 or starts before then. The new money is going to come out. I've heard in about 2 weeks. Well, guess what? 15 days is the 1st of January. Are they going to bring our new USD currency out after the 1st and then we get access to it when we go into the redemption center for our exchange before then? I don't know what is on that. We'll see. It's not a big deal either way, but the big box stores are leading the way in terms of removing fiat company with 2 distinct drop boxes in the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's and probably some other ones like Walmart, the big box Costco. These guys have a box for USD and a box for UN and they'll do drops those 2 boxes based on which currency it is. And so it's not like we have to worry about it. It's going to happen and we're going to be part of it and we're going to use our USD or fiat dollar here in the United States until such time as they say, okay, no more. That's done. So let's do this. I've given you the time frame we believe we're going to have. I've told you some of the particulars. We know that the banks are in the process of upgrading and connecting with XRP and the USN and all of that, started today and will continue, and we believe that we are to be notified. Or in the morning and get this thing started for us. I'm excited about it, and I know you guys are very excited, and I'm hoping we can all have the kind of Christmas that we really want this year now. So thank you for listening, Big Call Universe. And I would just say we don't know if we're going to have another call. We don't know if we're going to have a call Thursday. Today being Tuesday, but let's see what happens tomorrow. See what happens, and then we'll just plan accordingly. Happy Festivus for the rest of us. And I just think it's been to bring the big call to Big Call Universe, and we're going to see happens. I'm not in control of any of this. I only bring you what I hear. That's what my job is, to bring you this information, and then hopefully we can all vet it and just look forward to this happening 1 week before Christmas. Let's pay the call out. And we'll move on, and we'll see what happens in the morning or tomorrow. Everybody have a blessed night, and let's see what tomorrow. Good night, unless you guys listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.